Hmm. Are we on? Hi, everybody. Say hi to me in the chat room. And welcome to day 2 of our Cosmic Superpower Awesomeness. Today, we're talking about some of the blocks that Spirit showed me that are really kind of punking your ability to access your deeper resources and your deeper spiritual gifts. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. Enrica's here. Awet, what's going on, girl? Let's see here. So, how's it going? Wow, we already have a lot of people jumping on. That's awesome. You ever have one of those days where you just can't find a bra? I mean, I was like a few minutes late because I just couldn't find a bra. I mean, I was about to just go au naturel for a second. Anybody relate to that? Just like perfect timing. Anyways, was that a little TMI? Probably. We're all friends, whatever. I can't hide from you cosmic superstars anyways. You probably already knew it. Oh, hi everybody. How's everybody feeling? Hi, how's everybody doing? Hopefully you saw our first live stream, which was really about your cosmic superpowers. We opened up the container. I kind of talked more about the higher level um, changes that are going on the planet, the graduation that's happening for all of us, and the exciting potential. And again, it's about potential because we have free will, we have availability, we have resources. It's just our willingness to open up the gift that we're being given. So I almost see this time right now that we're in. Free the nipple. I know, Cheryl. I will someday, man. I'm not there yet. Maybe when I access even more deeper cosmic superpowers, I'll be liberated enough to just let them flop around. But, my boobs are really, they're really something. They're massive, they're floppy. I need a bra, is what I'm saying, just so I don't get distracted or get smacked in the head, because that could technically happen at my age. So, yesterday we talked about cosmic superpowers, accessing our deeper resources, but it is voluntary. And I was just saying, I see this moment in time for all of us almost like it's like Christmas and Santa's come and given us these like really beautifully wrapped gifts. And some of us are like super stoked, right? Are like, yeah, I'm going to open it. And then we open it up and it's the most beautiful box that we've ever seen underneath the wrapper. And we're like, hell to the, yeah, this is the most amazing box. And it so like dazzles us that we stop. Then we put that box on the shelf as if that's the gift. And then we open up that box. And so some of us stop there. And then others of us who are more dialed in start going, wait, is there something actually in this box? And we open it up, and it's this beautiful doll that we've never seen before with like blue skin, all avatar looking, all alienish, but in a beautiful way. And we're like, hell to the yes, this is the best doll I've ever seen. It's an heirloom. I'm going to give it to my kids. And then we stop there. But then some other of us go, I wonder if there's something more to this. So, we decide to take off the clothes, look around, and there's a zipper on there. We unzip it, and it's the most beautiful little star. And so, do you see what I'm saying? I feel like this is the time that we're in where we have to keep on going deeper and seeing what's behind the veil, because it can be wrapped in a pretty package, and we might just go, it all stops here. So some of you may have spiritual psychic gifts already, right? You may be clairvoyant, and you may be really have a gift of gab, or an actor or comedian, wink wink, oh what, right? So you might have all of this shit going on, and it's popping off, right? It's like, oh god, this couldn't get any better. And you don't stop to see, well, is this really the whole package, or is there more? And I'm here to tell you, for each of you, there is more. That's why we're doing these live streams. Again, I've been tapping into some deeper stuff inside of me. I'm doing these live streams so that you can get aware of the fact that there's a package that's just been delivered, and you may have started opening it, opening it, but there's more, and there's always more. So yesterday we talked about this kind of new being, not a new being, and very ancient being, very cranky ancient being. They're so ancient that they're cranky, okay? Because they've been doing this shit for a long time. So we talked about the gold workers who really came into being this round. We've been doing our work as gold workers for a really long time. Um, and and then it's like so we came into being. We've been doing this for a long time. Here we are again, doing our thing, shining our light, trying to talk reason into everyone, trying to like just promote things like love, concepts like love, which should be so basic, but it's like really not for a lot of people. And we're cranky about it. So we talked about the gold workers and that we're here to do really incredible work, and that light working is just not enough. We are dialed into a deeper layer here where we're here to process and churn and take the vomit, almost like, okay, so we are like the human form of the condor or vulture who eats carcasses and transmutes it into fertilizer and energy. Like a gold worker is not afraid to go into the dark places and go like, okay, let's chew on this for a while, chunk, 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 chunk. Okay, but when we are unconscious, we don't know who we are, that energy gets thrown at us, because that's kind of why we're here, and we just let it sit in us and toxify us, and we don't know how to move it out. So that's part of what we talked about yesterday. I also talked about my psychic development class that's coming. It's a training on the July 10th and 11th. I mentioned that. I'm going to keep mentioning it. And here's why. It's because the word psychic comes from the word psyche. And the word psyche actually means soul. So beyond the usual psychic development, which we will be doing, because this will help you activate your spidey gifts, your spidey senses, it's really about soul development and understanding who you are at a soul level and helping that soul come and inhabit the space that is your body a little bit more. And so today we're talking about the obstructions. We're talking about the traumas, the dramas that have happened to us that really prevent us from fully rock starring out. Remember I told you yesterday we're stars? Okay. So in order to be that rock star, okay, if we're like such badasses, if we are actually children of gods, right? And we're just like, boom, I'm a star, I'm super powerful, right? Like, so then what's the problem? Why is my life a shit show, right? Why am I just like in Shitsville, living in Butthurt Alley, and like there's no way up? Like, what, why am I still drinking? Why am I still like, what the fuck, right? And so some of that has to do with like, hey, this is how you're processing the energy right now, and like chill, don't attach to it too much, do some breathing. Another part of it is that at a different level, we have been traumatized so much that folk like us are afraid to come out of hiding. There's been so many levels, like complex levels of trauma. And so on an unconscious level, we know a lot. Sometimes we know too much, so much, in fact, that we're a little gun shy when it comes to expressing ourselves fully in the world, talking about weird ass shit like cosmic trauma. And it's like, look, I'm just gonna like get back to my bookkeeping, just focus on like numbers here, things that are, reasonable, tangible, because the spiritual life, I would prefer for it to be still just a hobby, as opposed to a fully embodied lifestyle. So I have extensive notes, like extensive. Usually when I do live streams, I'm just gonna riff and we're gonna party and that kind of thing. But today, I really had to write a lot of stuff down. I'm gonna talk about what I mean by cosmic trauma. We're gonna go deeper with that. I'm gonna tell you a little story, a deeper story, in addition to the one that I told yesterday. And then we're going to talk about strategies for what really, really needs to happen in order for you to access your deeper gifts. So before I talk about that, I want to talk about why it's important to talk about trauma and why we're looking at trauma in regards to our superpowers and our spiritual gifts. So safety is everything. Feeling safe is everything. And when you have trauma, even if we're just looking at this life, when you have early childhood wounding, it is very challenging to feel safe for people in your body. There's probably a lot of people here who have a hard time with anxiety and feeling safe. No matter where they go, there's this feeling that something bad might happen or they just can't relax. A lot of that is indication of early childhood trauma. As a reminder, I'm a psychotherapist, so this kind of work is really important to me. And looking at trauma, but I've never quite looked at it from this perspective that I'm about to reveal to you that spirit showed me and they made me tell you about it. So, safety is everything. So, if you can't feel safe, um, it's really impossible for you to fully rock your mission for why you're here and what you're doing, right? If you don't have a fundamental feeling of safety in your body, it's really challenging to get actualized and to really separate yourself from the pack. And that is really part of the process, you know, for all of us gold workers. You already know you're a little oddball, okay? You know you're a little weirdo. But many of us pretend to be just completely normal, pretend to be like a soccer mom when you're really like, you know, like just a creature of magic. Um, so because we're not feeling safe enough to really show up and show who we are. So, when you're not safe in your body, when you've gotten a lot of messages about safety, maybe you've been officially abused, traumatized, sexually abused, what happens to your consciousness, to your soul, is that you become dissociated. And a lot of people don't even know that they're dissociated because they've been dissociated their whole life. They've had some level of trauma or messaging that makes them want to escape the pain of the body because the body is processing the emotions. That's where you feel the pain. And it's like, okay, this is too much. I can't feel it anymore. And for those of you who have, you know, broken a bone or had a traumatic event happen, you know, there's moments where you don't feel anything. That's dissociation. So a lot of times we are polluted with that kind of trauma. So if you are dissociated, you are more easily victimized, essentially. You vacate your own body, which leaves other people available to come and inhabit your space. It's not just people, it's also dark forces, entities, things like that. I'm not going to get into that here, but you know, the dark is real. And if you are a very freaking powerful being, but choose not to be in the body, something else will come in and begin making you suffer. Whether it's your narcissistic motherfucking boyfriend, and if you have one, get the fuck rid of him. And if you don't, um, you know, maybe it's just the darkness that's consuming you, right? On some level. And so we need to stay in our body, but it's very challenging if we haven't done the inner work to process, to metabolize, to transmute our trauma. So, um, also, your superpowers exist inside of your body. So, if you are dissociating too much, you're escaping, if you feel dazed or you lose time, you're spacing out when you're supposed to be doing something, there's a lot of signs and signals that you're dissociated. But if that is happening, if you're not fully inhabiting down to the bone, down to your root chakra, your body, cannot do what it's designed to do. So, spirit gave us these physical bodies, but also our energy bodies. And when they work together, when you are fully in charge of your body, like the captain of the ship, um, then you can access your deeper layer of superpowers and your psychic gifts. So there's many people who can do psychic gifts without being embodied. Actually, a lot of gifted, especially clairvoyants, are often not in their body. But there's the lower gifts that we need to look at, that spirit's really wanting me to point out, the lower energy body, the lower part of your intuition that no one wants to go, because that's where a lot of our pain, our struggle, our yuckness hangs out. Our trauma with relationships, our trauma with money, our trauma problem with all the things, you know, our body, with food, with freedom, with finances, with fucking, all of those problems kind of hang out here. So we don't want to go down there. But when we do, gracefully, and when we own that part of our energy body, that own part of our body, and we begin clearing that, then more of our profound psychic gifts can come in. Believe it or not, some of our most profound gifts, what Spirit shows me, comes from these lower parts of our body, because these ones are the ones that are anchored to the planet, which means hyper ultra power of manifestation. Um, and heightened sense of energy, and learning how to feel and move in energy and flow with energy. I mean, there's all kinds of good stuff that can come out of the bottom, but they're really directing me down to the bottom. So where a lot of us want to go up to connect with source and light, it's the opposite. We got to go down and connect with ourselves, because that's where our inherent being is, our divinity that is locked up. It is inside of us. So I'm going to get to that. So I want to talk quickly about the 4 levels of trauma that I want to address today, the 4 kinds of trauma. There's many more, but I'm just going to do a brief skinny on a few of them, and then get right to the cosmic trauma that they want me to address. So here we go. Early childhood, big one, okay? This is where we learn how to fit in with everyone. And when we do not feel acceptable, we dissociate, we split off from ourselves, and put the part of ourselves that we don't think is awesome, that's not going to fit in, then we put it away, and we lose ourselves. And then we become more like, okay, what do you need from me? What do you need from me? And then I'll just be that. Um, and we become dependent on what other people's need. We lose ourselves. We lose our sense of what we like, who we are, what we're doing. Some of you may still be doing that on a certain level. Like, who am I? What do I love? What's my passion? Because you've been so busy navigating your space to fit in and to make sure that you're not going to be harmed, abandoned, and all of that stuff. So no shame in that game, but it's important to be aware of that. So early trauma, of course, we all know about that. That's what therapy is all about. We talk about all that stuff. But in therapy, you're not going to find other things like ancestral trauma. Maybe you will, because some therapists are like getting dialed into epigenetics and the fields of epigenetics. But if your ancestors experienced trauma, which they all did, by the way, just so you know, at some point, your ancestors, because there's thousands of them, went through trauma, famine, poverty, persecution, all of the big things. So we have that already encoded in us. And I've done plenty of teaching and training over that over the years. So I want to just address that. These are things, your early childhood and your ancestral trauma are currently punking you from being able to access your full power, okay? Cultural, religious trauma. I talked about some of that yesterday. Cultural and religious trauma. Here's a few words, just to kind of give you a highlight on some of the things that can be traumatizing to us. One word, pandemic. Okay, traumatizing. A lot of people were traumatized by that in one way or the other. They were traumatized by that and acting in traumatized ways, either buying into conspiracy theories, getting an excessive amount of paranoia, distrust. Okay, that's trauma response. That's not intuition. That's a trauma response that's disassociated. So a lot of people do that because they get this sense of power from it. Like, okay, finally, I know the truth, right? A lot of channelers, dissociated, traumatized, channeling the fifth dimension, pulling down the absolute wrong information because it's a trauma response, not actual intuition, okay? So pandemic, trauma, okay? The rest of us who are not channeling the fifth fucking dimension, still we're worried about our families and all of this stuff, right? So pandemic, trauma, politics, trauma causes trauma, cultural trauma. And then yesterday we talked about the mindfuckery of fear and shame-based organized religion, which for many people do not understand that they're being puppeted by that because they don't identify with the religion. But there's something called the collective unconscious, and there's something called your ancestors. So if your ancestors were religious zealots and were still in the architecture of the old world, which was very much about punishment, judgment, shame, then we have those energies, that architecture, that invisible, oppressive architecture inside of us that is actively telling us that we suck, that we're sinners, that we're shameful, we should be ashamed of ourselves. and ashamed of our bodies and ashamed of sex and fucking, right? So unnatural when you really think about it. So so we talked about that yesterday. That is essential for you to identify how you are enacting inside of you the oppressive patterns that we've been indoctrinated into. Okay. So that is part of it. And that's a really huge part. And I particularly love discussing that part. But we have to learn how to, in a sense, have the courage to look at these things that can be very triggering, right? Like if I'm just saying, like, the calling some of our major religions narcissistic abuse, that's probably pretty triggering for a lot of people. But I'm doing my inner work here, and these are the discoveries that I found recently, right, over the last so many months. They don't have to be your discoveries. They are my discoveries. So your work is to discover where that invisible architecture lives in you and to dismantle it. Um, so the cosmic trauma. I might have to actually read from here. Before I talk about it, though, I want to talk about the shadow. There's a lot of talk out there about shadow and shadow work. And a lot of people associate it with negative things like, oh, in my shadow is the dark, ugly, is all the worst possible things. And that's true. And also, in your shadow is essentially anything that is unconscious, that you're not aware of, that's not, there's no light shown on it. So it could be a whole bunch of things, not just the things you reject in yourself, or it could also be the things you didn't know about yourself that you might start mining and discovering about you. So our resistance to shadow work is not just about, I don't want to see the ugly. It's also, I don't want to see my power. Again, because this is not our first rodeo. We know what it means to be powerful. We've probably made a lot of mistakes as very powerful uh, beings that were divine. If you look at some of the ancient mythologies around the world, Hinduism, like kind of everywhere, there was warring between the gods and all kinds of stupidity between the gods. Um, and so we've made our mistakes along the way. So some of us are really officially rejecting our superpowers because we know that they're problematic or they can be problematic in the wrong hands. And maybe back in the day, you were a dumbass. You weren't quite wise enough to store that kind of power. And it was premature. Okay, so that's one thing that in general could happen. What I want for you to do right now as I go through this cosmic stuff is to really open up your mind and heart, not so that you can believe everything that comes out of my mouth, but so that you can feel into the aspects of this that's true for you. This is a story and information that was channeled, okay, from my cosmic resources. Now, many channelers will try and tell you that they're speaking the truth. When you hear a channeler tell you this is true, and I know it's true, then run in the other fucking direction, okay? So I'm here to tell you this is channeling, and this is what I came up with. This is the words that I put on the paper, and I'm still chewing on them myself. So I want you to use discernment as far, because you're a freaking god, okay? It's stupid for gods to be trying to brainwash to other gods. I want you to feel into what's true for you and then discard the rest, okay? What makes sense for you? Can I get an agreement on that? That you're not going to just take what I say as absolute truth? Because I'm not a cult leader, okay? And I don't care about power at all. I'm just here to like share some cool shit with you guys. And because, Spirit told me to. But up to you what you want to do with it. Okay, so something I want to say is that psychologically speaking, another two things I want to say is that there's two primary fears that we all are puppeted by. One is the fear of abandonment, and the other is the fear of entrapment. And so what Spirit showed me, okay, so I want to say the fear of abandonment, the fear of entrapment. In your relationships, what is your biggest fear? That they're gonna, your wife or your partner or your husband is gonna leave you? Or you're afraid of just being trapped by them? You feel more trapped. That might give you an indication of where you are kind of moving in life and what you're avoiding when it comes to up leveling. So when it comes to your business or your big mission, are you more afraid that something good's going to happen and it's going to get taken away from you? Or are you more afraid that once something good happens, oh fuck, now I got the responsibility to keep it going? Shit, right? Leave me being trapped. Okay, so I want you to feel into this because this is the cosmic drama getting played through you, getting played through you. So it may not be your fear. This may be the cosmic play. So here we go. Where does this fear come from? Is it early? And here's where I'm going to start reading because it's a lot. Is it early childhood? However, Spirit took me on a journey beyond space and time to show me its original source, this rudimentary fear of abandonment or entrapment. Yesterday, we talked about how you are a star, the vision that I had that you're a star wrapped in a meat suit, and that you simply forgot who you are. But the real question is, why did we forget? Why did you forget? As you descended into the material world, as we all did, all these beautiful falling stars came down from the beauty, from the curiosity. These children were so curious. They're like, I just did this place. I've never seen anything like it. Let's try this out. Hey guys, you want to play? Hell yes, we're gonna play. Let's go. Okay, so we do that. We descend into the material universe from multidimensional oneness, okay? For lack of better words, all of these words are kind of lacking. And it's why we came. We came here to experience ourselves and to play with each other in separation so that we could love each other, so we could see each other, love each other, have a little separation so we could come together. But what happened during our ascension that we weren't necessarily planning on is that we started feeling way more separate from God, from source, from the creatrix or creators of all that is, from mom and dad, big mama, big daddy. Our consciousness as it descended also descended. And because we couldn't fully experience that bliss and experience that oneness, and because of that ecstasy of union that you can experience in that form, when all that went away, we felt abandoned. Like, think about an alien who just gets dropped off on, like E.T. gets dropped off on the planet with all of his family. Like, all his family was just there, and his parents were just there partying in his cool spaceship. Then he gets dropped off, and he's feeling fucked, and he starts getting sick, and all of the stuff, right? So that sense, and I want you to really slow down and feel in your body that sense of loneliness that you have, that sense of abandonment, that sense of rejection, that sense of being lost, craving for your home, feeling forgotten. And maybe a little rage, rage about having to be here, how to be in life, rage about resentment, about being alive, being in this body, resentment towards your body. Gold workers, you have a sense that there's something beautiful about you and another place, that you belong. We know this. Intuitively, we know this. This is why we do love movies like Avatar. You know, it's like, oh, here I am. And personally, I know I should have blue skin. I'm like, okay, tan is pretty cool, but blue is so much better. Okay? Jesus. Tan. I mean, seriously? Just twist the dagger, why don't you? So because of these harsh feelings, this pain of separation, this illusion essentially of separation, because God never left. This creator, who we are, never really left. We just transformed. We transmuted into a different form to party, to try it out. But it's not a fucking party. After all, from our personality stage, on a soul level, we're partying, right? We're learning a lot. So our cosmic consciousness and divinity simply could not survive the harshness, and our divinity went underground. The harshness of our own thoughts, our own feelings about being here, it drives our divinity deeper inside, right? And so where did our divinity go? It exiled itself. It's like on a desert island inside of you. So when you lose conscious contact with your divinity and with your divine essence and power, it creates more harshness, a domino effect of harshness. It keeps us dissociated and ungrounded, which keeps us highly susceptible to feeling victimized and disempowered and easily influenced by darkness. And so all of this negativity from this original cosmic wound of being separated from source, created because we're conscious beings of creators, we're creator gods. We just didn't know it. So we've been creating horrific, monstrous beasts of anger, fury, torture, war, because we don't understand that the primary problem is this illusion of separation from love. And the seeking constantly outside of ourselves, clawing at other people. Will you validate me? Will you accept me? Am I cute enough? Am I smart enough? Am I sexy enough? Am I fuckable enough? Like all of this clawing and scratching and needing. Am I rich enough? Am I successful? Anyone? The original pain is cosmic. It's from separation. Dear God, why did you abandon me? Why am I abandoned? Mom, why did you leave me? Right? Why? So this pain creates such a darkness inside of us, such a pit. You know the pit that I'm talking about. And it's traumatic, and this trauma, again, creates all kinds of problems for us because we do not have conscious creator gods on the planet. We have unconscious creator gods on the planet, which means we are creating still. We're just creating a lot of bullshit, right? Or many of us are creating a lot of bullshit. What you're experiencing in this world is a third dimensional reality of all of our connected collective dream into reality as creator gods. And some of it's quite beautiful, some of it's not. So there's still so much work to do. So where did the gods go? We went underground, but where? Well, we're hiding in plain sight. We went inside of us. Remember the star on the inside of our body? Which means that in order for us to really access our deeper gifts, we have to go inwards. We cannot seek through a book. You can't seek through through a preacher, right? They're not going to act. The best you can do is hear the truth and open up inside. Your heart has to open. No one can make you enlightened. Your heart, your mind has to open. You have to be willing to detox. So we exiled ourselves, and essentially the negativity inside of us anesthetized the gods within. It put us to sleep. But it's still here. And so is the source of creation. So is like powerful, potent love. And these bodies of ours, holy shit, they're so cool, right? They are like the spaceships. We thought the spaceship left us, but it's all inside of us. We can channel the cosmic awesomeness, and so many of you are already doing that at a certain capacity. I'm just here to say there's more to this mystery. So, gold workers, we're here. We're here to remember who we are, simply to remember who we are and to remember our mission. We're here to help dismantle the trauma and oppression that lives in our energy body and in our physical body, to transmute the darkness, to lift the anesthesia, and to help remind each other how to love and to partay, how to play, and to inspire each other into creating incredible works of art with our lives. Each one of us, each one of you, has something special to offer. So, everybody, take a deep breath here. And I really want you to feel into the energy of what I'm saying here. We're literally just kids, okay? Getting all muddy. We just got dirty. We got like dirty, rotten, filthy. We got so crusty. We forgot we were playing a damn game, right? We forgot we were here to do some good shit. So, our task really is to scrub ourselves up. And then once you gain any level of mastery, to share that gift, to share your newest scrub down technique with everyone, to share your party and your beauty. And that is really what your superpowers are about. If you use your superpowers just for money or for power, just go fucking empty, because you're a being of love. That's why people are tortured. Some people are tortured by their cash because they didn't do it with love. So, what do you guys think about that story? Let me know. I mean, let me know. Did anybody resonate with kind of that process? That just that butthurtness, that quintessential butthurtness inside of us, that core wound, that cosmic wound, and then the gods that were so pissed. They were fighting with each other. Where's mom and dad? And then we inherited this shit. We inherited this old story. And so it is important for us to identify these stories inside of us, the God inside of us. Because if you don't know that you're a God, if you don't know like how your architecture works, how the power works, then you will feel like there is Satan living inside of you, punking you, blocking you, making you do horrible things. So for me, struggle with addiction. Okay, I love me addictions. I love drugs. I love alcohol. I mean, I was born to have an altered state of mind. Okay, it's just later in life I learned how to do it with angels and to help access my altered state of mind naturally. Okay, so I love me some substances. Okay, gold worker. All right, so fuck it. I am who I am. Still gonna do some good work out there somehow. I don't know how it works, but I still do good work. So last year I really was struggling with alcohol again. It was like this fucked up cycle. But I'm telling you that drive was the God inside of me begging for attention. So if you're in the shit show, it's your God inside of you, in your exiled God, who has excessive power. I mean, just if those of you who struggle with addiction, you know that shit is powerful. So powerful. It'll seduce you, right? So you think it's Satan. It's not Satan. It needs your whole attention. It needs communication from you, through you, by you. It needs your love. But when you're sitting around experiencing the architecture of this bullshit patriarchal thing that we're doing with this self-loathing, self-hatred, all of this shit, this God inside of you is all it's doing is absorbing more of the hatred. It's like, okay, we hate ourselves. And if it hates itself, it's going to turn against you. So what happens when you align with this God? You start repairing, making reparations. You start sharing the love with the consciousness that, hey, I know it seems like you're in the dark. You're really not. Let's bring you back up. Your real job right now that this is all coming from, spirit that I had to share with you, because I told you yesterday, I wasn't sure if this was information just for me or for you too. We have to re-encounter the God inside of us and resurrect that God inside of us. And it's a process. It's not a 10-minute thing. And Spirit gave me very direct, really cool processes to begin that process. So how do we access this next layer? It's imperative to know yourself. You've heard of know thyself. Did Jesus say that? I'm no biblical scholar, but I'm pretty sure that's part of what they mean. Know thyself, okay? Doesn't mean like, oh, I like to go shop at Old Navy. That's not knowing thyself. Know thyself is a deeper inquiry into your nature, like you started yesterday. Who am I? Who am I? Know thyself. Not just this materialistic thing either, not just this body, okay? But that which inhabits the body, that spirit, that eternal self. You know that you've been the same person since you were 3 years old. Remember those first memories? You know that part of you that you were when you were 5 and 7 and 10 and 17 and then 40 and 50 and how it was 70 and 80. There's a part of you that never aged. You know that, right? What's up with that? I mean, that part of you wants to speak, right? Has been alive, been around for quite a while. So learning how to activate, resurrect that God so that it can turn the negative power that it's been feeding you into more super power, okay? This is if you're capable of miracles, if you've done miracles, if you've manifested crazy shit, crazy amounts of cash, crazy amounts of awesomeness, people, this begins to happen once your God starts coming back into form. Once your God starts waking up and starts aligning with you, and you start living in flow, coming into your fully divine blueprint. Okay, some of us just accidentally get there. Angels help with this. This is why I love angels. Angels will help dial you in to your natural starry blueprint. You start doing shit, acting weirder, being more goofy. In my case, being more goofy the older you get. Somehow it works, okay? So angels help with this. So you have to master, I can't stress enough, your energy body is your freaking God body, and it's totally out of whack, okay? Our chakras are not supposed to do what they're doing right now. That's really some part of what my workshop's about. But it's in us, our energy body, our energy field, it's in us, always in us, that part that doesn't age. So mastering your energy is mastering your psychic gifts, and mastering your psychic gifts is about soul mastery, okay? Activating your soul level mastery. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. You have to dismantle the oppression within you. That's old architecture that has the capacity to die away now more than ever, okay? So we need to do that. And that includes the architecture of our ancestors, which if you've been following me for a while, you know that I work with certain modalities that really helps a lot with dismantling the ancestors and the ancestral trauma. You also need to learn specifically what the traumas are that are blocking you from the full expression of love, power, and your purpose, so that you can heal them. Because again, you're here to remember more who you are, to unravel this great package, this great gift. And I'm just going to let you know that in the center box that Santa gave you this time, it's just you sitting there. It's just that you don't know who you are. So you don't know that that is the greatest fucking gift ever, right? Oh my God. So good. Okay. So, learning how to access your spiritual gifts, so important. Mining, so for me, it's all about mining for gold within. That's going to help you become a master transmuted without, so that the energy out here doesn't punk you. It actually fuels you to do your work. You naturally begin to do your work. You do not get knocked around. That inner God, goddess doesn't get angry at you, take you down quite as much, right? We still are going to go through cycles. We're still human. We're still in our bodies. I mean, we're gold workers. We're going to go through our cycles. We're going to have our ups and downs. There's no shame in that game. But this cosmic consciousness, this cosmic divine consciousness can start peeking out and peering through your eyeballs and start creating a field of beauty and miraculousness and magic. And that's really what it's all about. You know, if you're here to do good work, if you're here to help, if you're a helper, and it's up to you if you want to help. That's the invitation. You can stay in your little bubble, you know, but if you're here to help, you got to let spirit know so that they can start working on you and with you. And if you found this live stream, if you're here, it means you have been asking. You have been asking for support and help to unravel the mystery of who you are. Again, the goal is for you to bring your unique slice of heaven here through your life, through your body, your emptied body of trauma, so that more life force can move through you. More God force, spirit force, soul force, creator force, love force, whatever it is you want to call it. You can inhabit more power, more love, like we talked about yesterday. So I'm telling you all this, like all you got to do is dismantle. All you got to do is la, 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 la. So I bet a lot of you are like, well, what the fuck? I mean, okay, great information, but what do I actually do? Like, you know, what are the steps? How do I get started, man? Okay, so that's what tomorrow's about. Tomorrow, I'm going to walk you through a really cool step. A lot of these practices that I'm going to start sharing with you, that I'm sharing one with you tomorrow. The 2-day weekend is, we are going, it is unlike any workshop that I've ever taught. Okay. So I just want you to know that we're going deep, and really the goal is not, you know, when you read Psychic Development for Badasses, right here, I'll read you the thing. Psychic Development for Badasses. Access your cosmic superpowers, uncover your mission, and make epic shit happen. Okay. I really mean that. So this 2 days is a real deep inquiry of knowing thyself at a deeper level. And it will be a serious activation and a detox. You're going to start getting to know your story, your God story in that workshop. But I actually want you to start getting to know your God story today. So here's your homework today. I want you to sit in meditation, and I want you to ask, dear God inside of me, tell me your story. And I want you to just sit, listen, hear, allow anything to pour through in the beginning. Again, this is opening up access to incredible, to a deeper layer of your power. Dear God inside of me, tell me your story. Yesterday you were inquiring about who I am. Today we're inquiring about, the God inside. What you up to? And you sit and you write. So I hope I got through that. Okay, so that in a nutshell, this cosmic drama, you are getting punked by the cosmic trauma of the gods. We have the capacity and the technology to move through it, to heal it, to understand it, and to convert that energy, to transmute that pain, that original powerful wound, into powerful awesomeness, into butterflies, from dog shit to butterflies, from a shitstorm to a unicorn storm. And so we get started on one of the really cool practices tomorrow. Plus, I have more information to share with you along these ways. So the workshop, oh my gosh, Yasmina, thank you. The workshop, you can find it at yourcosmicsuperpower.com, yourcosmicsuperpower.com. Again, I struggle for the words. So I've been spending 2 days now trying to articulate the words of the power that has gotten channeled through me, and me doing my hardest to crunch the words and make them as impactful as the energy behind it. And it's the same with your cosmic superpower. Whatever I say there is just the tip of the iceberg. The energy that will come through. Again, we're coming into this workshop with the understanding that we're creator gods, okay? And we're going to explore that fact on a deep level, do some deep healing, And so I here is www here. I'm gonna put the thing in here. Your cosmic. Oh, thanks, Sonia. Superpower.com. I mean, it's so fun. Such fun work. And I'm telling you, when I did some of these processes, this is no shit. When I did some of these processes, I had to work at it. It's why it's 2 days and not 2 hour workshop. It is work. I'm not going to lie. But when I finally released some of this cosmic shit, I had all over body waves of bliss. Seriously, it was like, I guess it was a rebirth. Yeah, deep inner peace moved deeper into my body, more groundedness, more capacity to love my babies. And again, it's all about descending, people, descending into the body, not ascending. So come tomorrow so we can get started on this first step together. Party down. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so much fun hanging with you guys. Party on. Do your homework. I want to hear about these stories, okay? I want you to share with me some of these stories. If you get some cool shit, please post it in our 7-Day Miracle Challenge Facebook group. I want to hear about a little bit about your God, man. And so we will see you tomorrow, 12 o'clock Pacific. Right here, right now, right here, same place. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, you coming, Yasmina? Oh my gosh. She said, okay, I'm going to read this. She said, I'm having amazing ideas and urging to act. She said, just by being in my presence. Oh my God, you're so sweet, Yasmina. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying yesterday, you guys, is that when you get your superpowers activated, then you don't have to work so hard to like party with people. People will feel your party. They'll get your party going. And so you each are transmuters, you're gold workers, you're activators. So keep time to get in shape, people. It is on like Donkey Kong. We'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. So much love to you, my cosmic rockstar badasses. We'll see you mañana.